everybody, Casey Bug here. I found out that there's another strike on somebody else's channel. Now, I don't know why everybody decides that they want to act like children, and that's essentially what it's like. People get on YouTube, and instead of talking to people like civilized adults about something that bothers them, they choose to go and tattle to YouTube. If you don't like the channel somebody's got, and the content on the channel, why don't you just not go to the channel? And how about you just mosey on to something else? Obviously, you keep coming back to the channel. So, you don't like it, then don't visit the channel. But instead, if you have issues with something that somebody says, you choose to give them a strike. Basically treating YouTube like they're the parent of everybody here. Do you think YouTube has time to sit here and go through all these strikes? And honestly, with the striking of videos, I think that the people who continue to strike, YouTube needs to look into the stuff they're doing, and I think some punishment should be held because that's abusing the platform. I know that the content that's put out there, they don't agree with. And this goes to the person that's always constantly getting upset about the content. You are the bully. If you're not sitting there on your live streams or your vlogs talking crap about somebody, being obsessed with Charlie, I mean, you sat there and you make mockery videos of people and you delete them. Okay, now about that. Delete it all you want, but you think you deleted something, you can't totally delete it. It's the internet. Okay, you might delete it off your screen, but it's never fully deleted. So what you do basically is delete things because you say things to people, and then you try to delete things to cover your tracks. Now, you're striking people's videos, but you are the one that's in fact the bully. Nobody from this side goes to your channel, harasses you, threatens you, or try to say that they're going to sabotage you or whatever. But you have no problem sabotaging everybody else. You target people who are new YouTubers, people that are, barely gaining a following, just because you consider yourself a big YouTuber. Okay, you don't have over 1 million subs. So, at best, you're somewhat of a bigger YouTuber, but you're not like, the king daddy of YouTubers. Talk to me when you are like Logan Paul, where you have 15 million subs. But in the meantime, you're sitting there and going after everybody. Because anybody who speaks out about abuse, oh no, we can't have that. Now, that's insulting to people who are survivors, who've been victims of abuse. Do you know what it's like? Probably not. Because you're the one who's usually being the bully. But, if somebody wants to use a platform to raise awareness of abuse, to share their stories, who are you to tell them that they can't? It is freedom of speech, dude. You should probably look that up. Unless you can wrap it around your small little brain. But you don't. You could have a civilized conversation with people, and you don't have to disagree with those people by no means. But you're going and tattling and, woe is me, I don't like this, instead of being an adult and staying off the channel. You could just stay off the channel and you could go find something else. YouTube has a lot of different channels, but you like to focus on ones that speak about abuse. And it's, public record that you, in fact, yourself was being abusive to your wife. There's evidence of a police report that was circling around on YouTube for people to see, So I think that's maybe why it strikes a nerve with you, because instead of addressing the issues, anybody who speaks out, then we're bad. You don't have no right to silence anybody. Nobody's over there silencing you. Nobody's over there striking your channel. Because we are mature adults. Okay? I don't like something, say Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I either keep scrolling on Facebook, or on YouTube, I'll click to something else I do like. I don't sit there and go to someone's channel that I don't like their content and strike them for no reason, which is what you do. Okay? I think it's pretty sad when, you know, you're an adult, but you can't act like it. So you sit there and you go after everybody and people get upset. You know, you're kind of like not a very liked person. And that's because you always go after certain people. And I don't think it's right that you think you have the right to tell people they can't speak out about abuse, or they can't speak out about issues that they feel are relevant to them. Your content isn't really relevant. All you do is make mockery videos of Charlie, or you're talking crap about someone in your live streams, or you're doing vlogs talking about crap for that. And not only that, but then like now you're like the king daddy of super chats. Must be nice to sit there and get paid while you're talking crap about people and being a bully. Which, in my opinion, as an abuse survivor and who was once a victim, I find it absolutely disgusting. And all you do is sit on your butt all day, going after people's accounts, just being a troll on YouTube. And then, you know, your little fans, or whatever you want to call them, oh, you know, yeah, I reported them. Or I'm going to wait until they get big as far as Charlie. You know, we're going to take him down. Do you people have nothing better to do? You have a family. How about you plug your brain from your computer and get off your butt and go spend time with them? You know, you have little kids. You have beautiful little kids. No, you decide to sit on your butt and do nothing except all day long. Oh, you know, this person did that. This person's lying. How do you know? And if it's not that, then you're judging about if they are a junkie, if they live in a tent, all sorts of stupid things. I mean, you sit here and you pick on people. And the sad thing is, you don't know what it's like in their home life. You don't know what they're going through. And to make fun of people who are quote unquote junkies. Have you ever had a family member who had an addiction issue? An addiction, especially with drugs, is like an illness. And you don't sit there and just kick people to the curb. I.e., your friend with his brother. You know, people who with addictions, they will have relapses. They will have struggles. It's part of the recovery process. But you have to get them into some kind of treatment. You can't just say, oh, well, I give up. I mean, how would, you feel if it was your family member or your friend and no one had the patience to deal with whatever, and the next thing you get a call from the cops saying, oh, I found your brother. Oh, I found your friend. And I hate to inform you, but they are deceased. Because they died of a drug overdose. Worse yet, if they feel like they're not loved or wanted, they could even potentially commit suicide. And I know I said this in one of my other speak out videos I did about Charlie, for example. Charlie talked about committing suicide. Why? Because you constantly bullied him. You and your stupid little mockery videos. Acting like a child, a bully in a schoolyard. And if you're not doing that, you're running to YouTube and you're tattling. It's kind of like a little kid on a playground. Oh, he took my toy. I want that toy. It's my toy. You know what? You sound ridiculous. You know, that's what you're doing when you're striking people's channels. It's like you are a little kid on the playground who didn't get your way, and you're running to go tell a teacher, you know, boo-hoo-hoo, I want my toy back. You know, you really need to grow up. Get a life. I mean, you sit here and, I mean, I'm tired of, like, watching people that I've made friends with on YouTube talking about how they got a strike on their channel. And who else is it going to come from? You tell me. Now, I'm not saying it's totally you, but I also suspect that, you know, your little fan base likes to do it too, because you put them up to it. Just like the whole thing with Charlie having a YouTube channel. Like, one of your people said, oh, I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to take him down. Why do you guys care if he has a channel? Is he hurting you? No. Does he talk about you? Hell no, he has a wife. He does not talk about you. But you talk about him. Talk about him all the time. Even people, from what I've seen on your channel, have said, look, why can't you do other content besides content on Charlie? You don't have no ideas to make decent content on your channel unless it's sitting there talking about people, putting people down, trashing them, making people feel like other crap, while you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I got them taken down. And you brag about it. You brag about it like you're some god of YouTube. You ain't nothing. You're just a bully. And you really should just leave people alone. Make content. Maybe if you don't have no ideas, why don't you just vlog about your life with your wife and your kids? Like, you guys going out on, like, you know, a trip or something, taking your kids to the zoo. I don't know. There's some content besides freaking talking about Charlie and everybody else. And I know you don't like the small YouTubers, but I have no patience for bullies. And most people here don't, because we actually know how to act like adults. And I'm not going to stand for it. I mean, I think other people aren't either. And I hope that YouTube starts catching on to, you know, this whole striking system is just a tactic that you guys are using to abuse people. Because you don't like people talking about anything pertaining to you guys. But you know what? Guess what, sweet cheeks? This is America. Freedom of speech. Don't like it? Roll on. Don't come to the channels. There's a concept. You know, keep your butt over there and take people's names out of your mouth instead of constantly putting people down. And I know you won't address any of the abuse issues that have been seen in videos. If you have some kind of issue in your childhood, I mean, you can have a civilized conversation with any of us, but you don't. Instead, you tattle to YouTube and YouTube striking, and people have to say, look, no, I didn't do that. I'm not violating anything. And they have to fight to get strikes removed off their channel because you just couldn't ignore it. You get the light out of doing this stuff like you're some sadistic idiot. You know, like, and again, nobody that has spoken out about the abuse awareness have gone to your channel and put strikes on your channel. And if you get any strikes on your channel, and I know you said something about how you had 2 strikes on your channel, but that's probably because people are sick and tired of you talking about Charlie. Like you're in love with him or something. But you know, that's your fan base. And you think they want to hear about this all the time. You are honestly obsessed, in my opinion. And I know that, I think it was on one of those videos where I told you were disgusting because everybody's ripping him apart, and he's a human being. And I don't know why, YouTube will sit there and listen to you guys talk about people and striking people. I mean, actually, I don't even know how you get away with talking about people constantly, and they're not doing anything about you. Okay, but the little YouTubers, you have people strike, or if you're not doing it yourself, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past you, but that's just my opinion again. Not saying you did, but all these people are coming over and striking people, and then you're like sitting here laughing your butt off. And then, like, you even said in a video that with Charlie's first channel that you hacked his account. Then all of a sudden, where you talked about that, you like to delete the videos so that there's no evidence. But like I said, it's the internet. Delete it if you want, but there's like still stuff behind. It's never completely gone, my friend. But you only focus on things that, your bully and your fan base thinks is great. And then you wonder why people are like, okay, hashtag what about the abuse? And then if you don't like it, then you're like, hashtag time's up. What's that supposed to mean? Is that a threat? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, to me, when you're saying time's up, I take it as that. I don't know about everybody else, but, I mean, as far as everybody else on our side, it's more than just abuse for profit. It's abuse in general. There's so many different ways of abuse. And for some of us, talking about it, bringing awareness, could actually save somebody's life. Whether it's, where they're in a relationship where someone pulls a knife or a gun or something on them and they have kids. Or maybe they feel like they're trapped or they can't do something and they want to take their life. And you're sitting here and you're bullying people. And yeah, you are bullying people because you do it to Charlie. And your fan base does it to Charlie. He's not perfect by no means. But, I mean, why do you think he snapped? Do you know it's like every day to have people come over to your channel and call you a child molester and say horrible things, and people saying he should die, even with their mom, even with his mother. Oh, she's ugly, she should die. Now, you know what? There's two sides to every story, and usually the truth lies somewhere in the middle. But that woman didn't deserve to be called ugly and said she should die. Charlie didn't deserve it either. And you think it's funny. And you wonder why people get pissed off at you. People are sulky towards you. It's because the attitude in your videos shows that you don't care. You like to sit there and be a bully on YouTube, and people sit there and follow you, and then they come over to people and start commenting, oh, this person wasn't that great of a person. I don't know if that person isn't that great of a person, but I do know that those people that supposedly weren't great people, when I've had a conversation with them, they were actually very nice. Completely opposite with what you said. And what you continue to say about people. They were nowhere like anything like you described. At all. But you'll have the audience believing that they are. Because, again, you guys like to bully people. And, like I said, I don't know if you had any kind of abuse in your childhood. But instead of maybe going around and striking people and having YouTube play parent, which really is what it's like, maybe you should sit down and, I don't know, try to have a civilized conversation, if you could wrap your brain around that, civilized conversation where you discuss things like an adult. I mean, how do you know one day your child isn't gonna wind up with a partner that could be abusive? Are you going to like it? I know as a parent, I wouldn't. I love my kids too much. I'm very protective of my children, and I imagine you as a parent, you are too. But you know what? It's your job to lead by example. And if your children come in and you're sitting on the computer and you're doing one of your live streams or something and you're laughing about how this person is a screw up or whatever, your children are listening to that. And guess what? Children learn what they live. So if you're not trying to be a role model that your children can look up to, and they watch you sit there and make videos where you're laughing about Charlie and you're saying he's a junkie, or this person's that and that person's this, they are learning from you. And nobody that is a child that is growing up wants to be bullied by anybody. Because at that point, they're in school, and it's not much, other than going to the teacher. And then again, if you go to the teacher, guess what? You're going to get bullied more. Do you want your children to act that way? Or would you rather somebody come up to you and say, hey, you've done an excellent job with your children? I get that compliment because I didn't allow my children to be bullies. I like, to lead by example and show my children that there's other ways to deal with things in life. And it makes me very proud when somebody comes up to me and tells me, hey, you did an excellent job as a parent. Your child's respectful. Your child has manners. Your child's a sweet person. It makes me very proud as a parent and as a mother to know that I raised my children to be good people, to accept people from all walks of life, to always show kindness, compassion, and decency towards another human being. But what are you showing? I mean, you guys have, again, a wide range of fans, anywhere from children to, I would suspect, maybe even senior citizens, if they can put up with watching the bullying and and the constant videos about Charlie. If they could put up with that. I mean, I'm sure children, especially like teenagers, think it's great. It's funny. But in actuality, it's not. It's not funny. And I'm always hoping that eventually you will stop doing this bullying mentality on YouTube. And that people will stop constantly running to YouTube and letting the YouTube be mom and dad, trying to sort the battles. But really, from the side of the people who want to bring awareness, nobody wants to battle with you. You're the one who's trying to battle with us. And I want you to leave my friends alone because they're not bothering you. There's things in life where you feel like you have a calling for something. And in my case, I've always felt that I had a calling to do something to better the world and to do something to better life for other people. And I think I found that because I've been through so much in my life. And I can speak from my own experience what it's like. And I don't feel like you have any right to silence anybody who's an abuse survivor at all. Because at the end of the day, in my case, it matters if you choose to do the right thing, if you choose to ignore it, or if you choose to be, bad and abusive towards somebody else. I don't conduct my life as being a bully. I conduct my life as showing compassion for my fellow human beings. And, being new to YouTube, I mean, I love the experience. I love the friends I've made, but it's sad to know that a platform that could be used for such good has turned into a battlefield, if you will, because you want to silence people. You don't want people to speak out. And that was the case with Charlie. Everybody wanted to shut him down when he was trying to speak his truth. It's freedom of speech again. You have no right to silence anybody. You know, you get on there on your end and you talk about whatever you want, and nobody's telling you you can't do it. But you are telling everybody else they can't. You're trying to have YouTube tell everybody else they can't. But as long as nobody's like going over there threatening you, saying they're going to do something to you or your family or whatever, which at that point I can understand reporting it to YouTube and getting a strike. But nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that to you at all. Instead, you go to people's channels, and if you don't like the content, you want to be immature. And you want to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to, you know, I have a vendetta. I want to take these people down. Small YouTubers. In honesty, who cares? Did anybody bully you when you were new to YouTube and you were trying to build your channel? I'm pretty sure they didn't. But it's just a question I'm throwing out there. And like I said before in one of my previous videos, where I feel like YouTube really needs to do an investigation on your channel and other people's channels to find out who is really the culprit of being a bully. Because they're not going to find an underside. I know that. Because these people who speak out about abuse, that's something they're passionate about. That's what I'm passionate about. That's why I do storylines that I do. Trying to do storylines, you know, from people's different perspectives, because I have friends from all walks of life. I have my own experiences. And I don't want to single you out, but I feel like I just, you know, you really act like a big bully. And I don't understand why every day it's the same old, same old. When you could have different content where you're not shaming somebody. You know, like when Charlie was getting out of, you know, kicked out of different hotels. Your fan base, you guys were laughing. Who cares if he's on the street? You know what? Whether he's good or not, he's somebody's son. He's somebody's uncle. He's somebody's brother. He's somebody's cousin. He's somebody's friend. And that is deplorable that anybody would say, well, yeah, he could go on the street and panhandle. And you're talking about how he's like begging for money on YouTube when he was doing his super chats. But is it no different than you getting money from super chats? Because you were getting money from people from super chat. And the difference is that you have a roof over your head. You have your family. You're not trying to overcome an addiction. He's trying to overcome addiction. And so many times, that poor man has tried over and over and over to rebuild his life and try to do what his dad said. His dad said, go out and live your life. And every time he tries and he starts doing good, then all these bullies come out and repeatedly attack him. Imagine if you were him. What if you were one of the most hated people on YouTube just because somebody made it so, you know? And his brother recorded his meltdown last summer. I always said that there's just some things that I don't believe should be public consumption on YouTube. And if your family has an addiction or your family has a mental illness, you don't put that on YouTube for all the whole world to see. Those are private matters. I mean, even his sister has said when she's going through her things that she didn't want to be on camera. And out of respect for that, put the camera down, turn it off. But no, he you know, lets the footage roll and he shares it with everybody. And I don't care if the whole concept was that his dad didn't want to keep secrets from people. It's just common decency to not record that stuff for public consumption. And to get your sister or brother the help they need, have the support, and it's just, and everybody's watching all this stuff unfold, and it was sad. And then there's you. You get the light out of Charlie's misery, and then you're going over and you're talking about other people, putting them down, and then next thing you know, here's the fan base going over to their channels, striking their channels, saying horrible things in the comments. And you don't have to like these people, but it's not okay for you to go and bully people and put strikes, have people say like hurtful, messed up things, when all you guys have to do, if you guys don't like the people, is not go to the channel. Don't watch. I mean, it's the same thing on Facebook. I mean, your friend may share something that you don't find very funny or appropriate. I mean, you could comment and whine about how you don't want it on Facebook, but it's their right to post whatever they want. And the mature adult thing is to keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. You don't like what someone's talking about, just keep going. You don't have to go and feel like you have to be a keyboard warrior and start saying like, I don't like this on your FaceTube, or I don't like this on your YouTube. Well, there's people who don't like your content either. You're gonna find that. But the difference is that the mature adults aren't striking. There's those of us who have better things to do. So, but again, I really think you need to get a life, and you need to grow up. YouTube needs to look into things, because this striking thing, and it's almost a daily occurrence, this has got to stop, because this is, at its best, bullying. Alright, people. Well, I think I ranted enough, so I will talk at y'all later, and let me know what y'all think. Alright, bye-bye.